through what I think is one of the greatest waltzes of all time, a South American waltz, one of my favorite songs to play, Pica Pica. So as I said, this is a South American waltz. I can't really figure out who wrote this. It's also known as Quiero ser tu sombra, I want to be your shadow, I want to be your shade. But I looked for who wrote this, can't really figure it out. It's probably some anonymous waltz, but there's a lot of stuff going on here that's really, really fun to play. The second part is pretty wild and really a great brain exercise for us. But let's just talk about the chords first. We're in 3/4 time, so we're counting 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and on an A minor chord. Then we go to E7. This is all traditional classic harmony. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, E7. Still on E7, coming back to A minor. Then we have A7. That's going to take us to D minor. You might expect that. 2, 3, secondary dominant that is, and D minor. Then an A minor, E7, A minor. You can end up with a nice little 5-1 thing there. 5 is E7 and 1 is our tonic, the home bass chord, A minor. Now let's look at just the melody. Right off the bat, we get a little bit of a flat 5 thing here. Kind of like the blues scale, you could say. Right, over A minor, so that's a really, really great note. We hear it in La Comparsita. There it is. So it's not an accident that that's part of the melody. I think it's a very Latin thing to do. Okay, then we have C on the 8th fret of the 1st string, and then E on the 5th fret of the 2nd string. And then slide this to B, and when that B rolls around, it's an E7 chord, okay? E7. If you know how to play E7 in every single way, that would be great. It really helps you play these pieces. So here's a way to play E7 based on the D form. Then based on the C form, here's another way. And whenever you see this, you always have this. So if you knew that, or if you learn that, that's going to help. You're going to see it in these classical and Latin and Spanish guitar arrangements, and it just makes your fingers go right to it, and you learn it faster. That's all. So the beginning would go like this. It's an A minor chord, right? So I'm thinking that, but we're going to play the open string when we can. Like, why play a bar chord if we can keep fret? I'm going to slide right here, and there's that chord shape for E7. Then we go back and do this again. Same chord, A minor. Now we're gonna have A7 rolling around, like I said, right? We're gonna play just an A like this, and this dominant 7th chord is built into the melody. It's really nice. Check out this closing phrase. Really a lot going on there, all constant 8th notes. 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and E in the bass. It's an E7 chord there and a G sharp. It totally fits together like a puzzle. And then here we're doing this arpeggio of A minor, hammering your pinky on. And that is tough. Great practice. So that is the entire A section of Pica Pica. Can play around with some of those notes. I like to mess around with the rhythm there and get kind of a swingy feel. Or we can play a full A minor chord there. In this last phrase, in Spanish guitar, we tend to go index and middle rest strokes when we're playing scales, but when your thumb is involved, that can get a little bit hairy, so you can always choose not to do it, and I chose not to. So there I went. Everything here was a free stroke for those melody notes, because if you do rest strokes, totally try to do it. It's kind of hard to get the thumb in here, and then you gotta, it's just more problematic, but definitely worth trying to do for sure. Pica Pica is one of my favorite songs to play and absolutely one of my favorite songs to teach. If you want to get more in-depth training on this, I have an entire course on Pica Pica on my website. I go note by note and measure by measure and show you everything you need to know to play this with practice play-along videos and preparatory drills to get you going, especially on the B section, which can be pretty tricky. Check that out below. Okay, the B section to Pica Pica is really interesting and there's a really crazy thing going on here, but let's look just at the melody. I mean, that's such a guitaristic thing to do, right? Playing off of the open string. Easy enough, right? Just keep doing it. And the end of the A section had this closing phrase, but the B section has a little bit of a different one. They're interchangeable though. You could use them one for the other or just do one single one. It goes. Always ending with that same arpeggio, and you can really also do it way up high if you have a cutaway, which I don't right now. Let's look at the chords though of the B section, and then we'll see if we can put them together. So we have, it's kind of flips upside down. It goes, instead of A minor to E7, just do the opposite. E7, A minor, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1. Now make it an A7, D minor, and we got A minor. It ends exactly the same way. Now let's see if we can put these together. This is really crazy. Like there's something called a Hemiola rhythm where we have a measure of 3/4 time and then a measure of 6/8, and that's kind of consistent with a lot of stuff that you hear in flamenco, where you might hear a 12 count going 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 10. That is the same as going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3. But the B section of Pica Pica stacks those on top of each other, and that's called a vertical hemiola. And really, really weird to do that at the same time, especially here because your thumb is going to be going 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And up on top, we're going to be going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Kind of crazy. At first, you maybe shouldn't think about what the accents are at all. But here's what's happening. We go. Wild is A minor. I had to put these two fingers down, and then with your pinky and your ring finger, you're just stuck. You have to use those fingers. I mean, you can finger this a different way, I suppose, but this is the way that makes the most sense, even though it makes no sense. Now we're down here on A7. Keep this on C sharp. D minor chord, and here's our ending. Back to the beginning. For all the melody notes that occur by themselves, I'm playing index and middle rest strokes, picado technique, but then when the thumb becomes involved, I do a free stroke because I want things to ring out, but also it's kind of hard to play a rest stroke with a thumb rest stroke at the same time, and I'm doing thumb rest strokes. So if you're just getting used to that kind of thing, let's simplify this and just get used to the shapes first and play this little arpeggio. If you know romanza, this is exactly what you would do in romanza. Going A, M, I, but we're going to do it on these Pica Pica chords. Let's try it. So we have A minor, which you're going to see in romanza if you haven't already. Pinky up here. The next chord, remember, was this. Well, we can get rid of this finger if you don't like that. I encourage you, though, to hold the whole shape, and I will do that. You really only need this, though. Then it's going to go back to A minor, but this time without the pinky. Then A7 will be like this. And then we have D minor. Then your regular old A minor, E7, and A minor. Let's do this with the romanza pattern. That's a great way to get into this and kind of get these shapes down and kind of also be thinking about the chord progression and expecting, you know, these chords to change, A minor, E7, kind of expecting those chords really helps us when we play the full arrangement. So like I said, this is one of my favorite songs. If you'd like to learn more in depth, I can show you step by step how to play this in my mini course. And if you like South American waltzes, this is one of my top 5. Check out the other 4 in this video right here.